Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and what we have this time is the Zakuri AS or Aogami Super Bunka 170mm knife. So the way this knife is constructed, the hardcore center cutting edge steel is what's known as Aogami or Blue Paper Super reactive high carbon steel from Hitachi, and the heat treat on that is kind of a typical range. AS is a little bit harder steel or can be taken harder. So this is hardened to around 63-64 Rockwell, so it'll maintain a really nice edge, yet be still pretty easy to sharpen. The construction has soft iron reactive cladding on either side of that hard reactive core steel, so it's an all-reactive knife. This cladding, as you can see, has a couple characteristics. One is it's got a kuda-uchi or blacksmith type finish on it, and then they've also done a kind of a sandblast faux kusumi finish right here on the blade, grind down to the edge steel right here. The knife does have, looks like has lacquer finish on it as well for a little extra protection, but it is an all-reactive knife. The weights and dimensions on these are going to vary a little bit from knife to knife. So this one is about 149 grams or 5.3 ounces. It's just about 185 on the edge, so it's a bit bigger than the advertised size, or about 7.3 inches, and then it's about 12.8 inches overall length. The spine thickness, these tend to be pretty thick coming out of the handle. This one's about 3.6 right here, the back of the blade, and then about halfway down, I measured it about 2.2. I mean, pretty much hold that all the way down to the corner there of the reverse sword tip and reverse tanto point. And then you've got the blade grind you can see here. And then the tip actually gets pretty thin right at the very edge. And then it's actually reasonably thin at the edge here as well. So these are pretty nice performing blades. It's fairly stiff all the way down. I did find, and these can vary from knife to knife, this one had a bit flatter grind or geometry on the right side of the blade than the left. So the left has a little more of a, you can feel the shoulder there. So just a little different, but you could get another knife and it's just the opposite, but that's what this one kind of looks like. Fit and finish actually is pretty good on these. Let's get back to the height. So the blade height is about 50.6 or 50.5 millimeters. Plenty tall at the back. Handles they use here are kind of a pretty popular handle. That's an oval rosewood with a black packerwood ferrule, and they typically have pretty good fit and finish on these. And then they give a nice tight handle install where the tang goes into the handle. So nice package here. Balance point on these. I should have put circumference on there, my bad. I'd say probably about 75 millimeters where the two woods meet, just from feel. I'm usually pretty close on that. Balance point is just about right there. So slightly behind a pinch grip, but very neutral. Still pretty neutral, nice light feel. You can see it's not a heavy knife. The out of the box edge on these, I'll give it 5 out of 10. It's pretty sharp. They've got a pretty nice bevel. It's pretty clean. You got a fair amount of polish to it, but this will get really, really sharp if you do your part. The fit and finish, they're rustic, but they do a pretty good, consistent job on keeping these straight, and they've put enough in them so they're not super rough, but you got a little bit of rustic kind of charm to these, and definitely some made, hand-hammered character to them. The spine is not really relieved a lot on the corners, but it's not sharp either. You could clean that up, but then you lose the KU finish on it. They've done a little bit of file work on the right side here, where the choil goes into the neck, and the left side they haven't really done as much, but it's still pretty comfortable either way. The knife looks like this. Okay, we'll get our beauty shot. So they have a fairly smooth finish on it, not a whole bunch of texture to it. And then you've got the kuda-uchi on top of that. There's some embossed pressed-in kanji on the right side of the blade. You can see that. And here's your kusumi kind of sandblast finish, and then your core steel. The left side of the blade has their name on it, embossed in, pressed in. Right there, and then you got another kanji pressed in, and every blade's going to be a little different. This does have a really nice profile on it. Let's take a look at it on the cutting board. So here's our profile. For 185, it's got a little bit of length to the blade, but they've got a lot going on with this profile. They've got a fairly flat section towards the back, a little bit of back belly there, so it just kind of flows in. The front, fairly low snout or tip on it, you can see, but that's typical of this style knife. So it's not going to rock real high, but you can get up in that area there. But it's a real nice profile. It's pretty smooth, and it'll work real nice for glide cuts, push pulls, really nice for tip draws, a little chopping at the back. So, you know, everything but a serious rock you can do with this knife. So it's a well put together package. It's light. It'll get really sharp. It is all reactive, so you have to do your part to take care of it, but you'll be paid off with a knife that does really nice job in the kitchen. So this is the Zakuri Aogami Super Bunka 170mm knife.